Okay, now we have some beginning, which is good, but our project is cleaned up and we are ready to start building. Next step, building the UI structure. So let's begin by building the basic UI for our habit tracker. We'll create a simple layout with a header, a form to add habits, and a list to display them. Let's go one by one. So we're still with the app GS6, and let's start with the importing. So let's just move out a little bit down our function, which is basically, by the way, the function is a component and its file, its main file. This file will be later on imported to main file, which in itself, as you can see, this is the component app, which on its own main J6 later on imported to index.html, which is initial starting point over here, which then will be started. So that's sort of like a chain of the files. Starts with index.html, goes to the main starts app, and here will be our main logic. So let's go back again to what are we doing here. Let's import useState from React. We'll be using state. useState is a hook and it controls state of your component locally, and will be very useful. You will see what is it for in a moment. Let's write const. So we'll be using useState, and we'll be using to saving our data, specifically habits, and another one will be set habits. This is a function. So first one, this is the value, which will be having all our habits inside, and that will be a set function, which will be setting and updating our values, which will end up in this file at the end of. I'm not trying to overwhelm you, so I'll be trying to going forward as simple as possible. So we're running this useState, which we imported from React. This is a built-in library. We actually initiating function of the useState. Inside, I just put an empty array. You can basically start as an empty, but I'm just starting with an empty. So our initial habits variable will just contain just empty array. We use array to have, let's say, a list of items of something we want to track. And for our example, it will be a list of habits or just array of habits. We will call it array of habits, and we use set habits to set those habits inside of this array one by one. And we will use another state. So let's say another value, and we'll call it new habit. We'll explain why we're doing that in a moment. It's called set new habit. We will use same useState as we used before, and in here it will be just one habit, and initial value will set empty string. It's basically string. Usually it's something like habit number 1, but it will be just empty because it's just an initializing, so it's the very beginning. Saving that, and first of all we will go with adding first new habit. We will go and add function which will be responsible to add new habits. Let's call it by const. So it's a constant add habit. We're opening an arrow function right now, and let's do if statement. If new habit, and we will right away do trim. So trim, it's another method which basically trims all strings. Let's imagine we have a string called like habit1 and some spaces after. It will just basically trim all the spaces within that string. So it returns a string without extra spaces at the beginning and in the end. So let's imagine we're getting a new habit. We trimmed it for the spaces because we don't need extra spaces. And if it's not empty, so this is equality. So if it's equal, and this sign responsible for saying not, so it reverts anything. So if it's not an empty string, that's our if statement. What we will do next, we will do something like we will use set habits. If you remember, we had set habits for many habits and set habit for the single habit. We'll do set habits, which are many, and it will get clear soon. If it's looks a bit unclear for now, we'll use habits, which we had the value before, and we will add name, which will be, that's by the way a structure of a habit, a new habit. Strict will be a set new habit, which will be an empty one. Gets clear soon, I promise. You can watch full video in the description or in the pinned comment below. Check out a complete look of the app. Thank you for watching, and you can see it's a pretty nice app. Check out my full video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Enter, we have to actually click on each button, just a little over the styling, but yeah.